So what are your?
So you want to move on to the bad now? We're moving on to the bad. Are you done with your good?
I'm done with my good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Let's,
you want to kick off the bad?
yeah. Let's get
Let's
it
talk
started.
about it.
Talk about it. Talk.
Put the beer down. Bree's getting lit. Okay. Anyways.
See, and most of my friendships end good. They end very casually. Like time just, like I said, it's a river. One river flows this way in and out. Sometimes our streams cross, they stay in
Mhm.
and out, and then we go separate ways. But I had this friend, and see, no, no. I had this.
We'll call him. What do you want to call this friend? We'll give him a name.
Let's call this friend Tom because Tom created Facebook, right? He was the white guy on Facebook.
I'm Dick and Harry. No, but yeah, no. Tom was the white guy that created. No, MySpace.
MySpace. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
MySpace. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good.
Mark Zuckerberg. So Tom. Tom. Tom, grew up in Oklahoma, a little suburb in Oklahoma. Average middle class family, white guy, 6'3". And when I moved here, we were one of those connections instantly. Like first night, I trained him at work. We went out, had drinks, partied, like literally first night we met. And
Yeah.
no, then we hung out a little bit after that, but then he left the job. And then like 6 months later, we reconnected again. And then
Mhm.
ever since then, we're best friends, traveled, everything, hung out 4 or 5 times a week, worked together for like 4 years.
Mhm.
And, you know, most soulmates, you think friends or not, just dissipate. And I'm very, very cordial, but this one ended badly in terms
Yeah.
of just because it just sucks when you care about someone and you want to see them succeed and want them to do the best and the best for them and their family. And it's just when they're on a self-destructive path, whether it's, I don't know about his alcohol, but everyone else will comment on his alcohol. I'm like, I can never comment on someone else's, choices. Like if they can control themselves and handle themselves, that's on them. Like how they say the first step in admitting you have a problem, or first step in having a problem is admitting you have a
Admitting
problem.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, for real. It really is.
Like I can't tell him he has a problem. Like that's up to him. And
Yeah.
with different life decisions, with different choices being, he would never admit that being a white man gave him any privilege.
Mm. And
That
that's enough to do the damage to no longer, because like you said, you can be empathetic and hear what he's going through and see, even if like you said, you can't observe, say that he had an alcohol problem, but you could observe and see like, okay, like I know you're going through certain things, I'm still going to be here. That was the self-destructive path, exactly. But lost my train of thought. I hate when this happens. That's okay. You see that they're on a self-destructive path, and then at that point it hurts the most because you would do anything that you could to help, but they don't want to help themselves. And when you don't want to help yourself in that situation, it's really unfortunate because you do have a choice to stay in that situation, but a lot of the times you go down that path as well, because once you're in, so that's rough to have somebody, you empathize with them, but when it comes down to something that's real life, something that you have to deal with every day, that's something, you know what I'm saying, over the color of your skin, and you can't at least hear what you have to say and be understanding about that, that's the point that I was trying to get at, is that he couldn't even be respectful enough to hear who's supposed to be his best friend. That's who you're supposed to listen to the most and be there for and support. You don't have to agree, but that's something that it's not agree to disagree, and we can be fine. Like, no, you either with us or you against us, and there's no in between. But anyway, sorry, I had to say that.
Oh no, and we all know what happened in 2020. We know what happened from Oklahoma to New York to Portland to LA.
Yeah, we was live in this bitch too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave y'all out. But yeah, and then he also, I remember just saying that he couldn't prove it. He couldn't prove that like white
It didn't
privilege
exist.
existed.
How
And
could you not?
because you can't measure it, that you can't
Mm.
in his definition of measuring it. They can find other ways to measure it, but that obviously doesn't fit. And then obviously with what went on, I just yeah, went from having someone who I traveled more with than anyone else in my life, texting endlessly days a week, like up at night, group text, group everything, to I've been here for what 8 months now, and we saw each other once because we saw each other in public, like a mutual friends, and said hi.
And then that was like, oh, that's the worst too. Once you have like that bond and that relationship and that friendship, that's the worst part, that when you get comfortable in having like a soulmate friendship with somebody, and then like it's the most awkward thing when you go back out in public, you see them like months later, and it's like you literally feel like you're with a stranger. Like, did I ever? And that's weird.
Yeah. So get into yours. You all your soulmate friendships can't end pretty. You know, they
No, do you think I'm just messy?
I, I told you most of them.
All your friendships just can't end peaceful, girl. So
You're
what's your
describing
messy?
these lifetime achievement award on friendships here. So I'm like, okay, you got to burn some.
That's one. That's it. I feel like all my other who I felt like were my soulmate friendships just like didn't work out. One of like my like most favorite soulmate friendships like didn't work out. I was best friends with this person for like over 5 years. That's literally somebody that I was with from the second that I met her. Every single day after that, if we weren't together, we were texting, or we would. It literally went as far as not only was I with you every single day, but we're working together. When we're not working together, we're going back home together. If we're going out, we're going out together. If you know what I'm saying, and that whole situation had to unfortunately come to like I never wanted it to get to that. I think that's what's the hardest, is that, and I'll say this, I just need to make this very like apparent and like known, just like right now, that I have like, and I know that you don't either in your story, but I just want to make it clear, like I have like no ill intent versus this person. I miss this person very much. Like I love this person with my whole heart. If this person ever were to reach out to me and they're like, hey, just like, how are you, or I need to talk to you, like I'll be there.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing like that. So I'll still always have that love in that sense. But unfortunately, like there was a reason, that I had to leave Oklahoma and, come move out here to Richmond. And I really had to kind of get my life together and everything. And the path that I was going down when I was in Oklahoma with this person was really destructive. And it's not that person's fault. I make my own decisions.
Same, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we make our own decisions, but it's just, I had to come to the point to where I had to realize, hey, this isn't what I want to do. I love going out. I love having a good time. I love going to party, but it's just like, I can't be like this all the time. And I was just so up and down and everything. So when I had to separate myself from that, I think that was just like the hardest thing. That's honestly, I've never had a friendship end. And this is me being real. I've never in my life had a friendship end that hurt. I was just like, oh, you're a weird
exactly
bitch.
What I just told you. Yeah.
Like I was just like, oh, you're a weird bitch. Like, no, I don't want no parts. But that one, that fucking got me, because like I had said earlier, this person in the good relationship aspect, I literally genuinely, and I know it sounds crazy, but I really believe that in another life, like that was my person.
Yeah.
Just because of that connection that we had. So it really sucks when those come to an end, because you almost feel like you've sort of like when you're going through a breakup, you have to start over. You kind of feel like you've lost it. There was nights that I was crying myself to sleep, like, and I don't do that over losing friendships.
Yeah.
So it had to be something more than just like a normal friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like you are invested into that person. You feel their emotions, they feel yours, and it's like if they're upset, you soak away their pain and vice versa, or just, so, and friendships like that can be good and that they can be bad. It's just, unfortunately, I was caught up in drugs and that just don't mix,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that person was always down, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't good, but that bitch was with the shit.
Hey, don't forget to follow me on social media: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever you want,